Welcome aboard to the North Florida Prep Report. Andrew Jute bringing you the action here today. Of course, thanks for tuning in with us here for our weekend Wednesday special. So, of course, we're going to go through all the area games that we have upcoming this week in the North Florida area. Of course, that's from Walton to Suwannee County in that 40-41 team coverage range that we have going here in North Florida. Of course, some exciting stuff this weekend, so we had to break it down to you, give you a little time to digest it before we throw you out our picks here for the week coming up in just a day or so. So make sure to stay posted to I-10 Sports Media Network on social media and, of course, the North Florida Prep Report, your regular North Florida updates here for football from that Suwannee to Walton County coverage range. So here we go. Let's get into it. We have a little visual for you here today, courtesy of our friends over at Four Quarters Online. So they put some awesome stuff up on social media, including these graphics. So make sure you follow them up on social media at Four Quarters Online. Of course, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. They do some awesome stuff. So these are these graphics. So we want to give credit to them. Doing an awesome job. They have a really good team out there. So here's your Week 2 slate as we get it started off here. And you take a gander, some exciting matchups here for you today, especially those top two for people here in the Big Bend area. I'm sure you're excited about that, and it's sure you're looking forward to it. Of course, the one that sticks out to you has got to be the big one, Madison County versus Lincoln. That's going to be the contest that has people juiced up here. Two undefeated squads going after it. Lincoln, which is really high profile. You love their skill players and defense. And on the other side, Madison County's got a mean front seven, and you know the run game's going to be ready to rock and roll. Key here is going to be the offensive lines and then also the linebackers here for Lincoln. Can they jam up that running game, make Madison County throw more than they want to? Because we know there's some explosiveness here on both of these clubs, but I think it's going to be a slug-them-out contest. I could see it being very low scoring, but it should be a very, very fun matchup, and it's going to be really high profile, not only in North Florida here, but throughout the state. Can both of these teams get it going to be undefeated? The answer is no, but we'll see who emerges at 2-0. Should be exciting. Next one I like here on the slate is Godby and Leon. So this one will be kind of one that flies under the radar as these teams are going forward with it. Both teams dropping their first game. So that's one of the reasons why it's such a big contest. Hey, can you recover? Can the trenches get it going for you? Can you bounce back and make this thing go like you want it to? Godby, we were impressed here week 1 versus Raiders, but came just short of clinching the victory here. How's that line going to be? How are they going to do in the trenches? We've been impressed so far, but can they give enough time for Lazarus Chambers to do his thing, because he was balling out versus Rickards on the ground, through the air, making plays? Can they continue to get after it, and are they going to be allowing him to do his thing? Over on the other side, Lions for Leon, little bit of struggles on the offensive line here. Can they bounce back? Of course, they've gone against two tough ones, St. John Paul II and Rickards, which have some mean defensive line. Also, I'm looking into their quarterback play. Kent Peoples went down with an injury at the very end of that St. John Paul II. Haven't heard anything coming from Leon as far as his health. Obviously hoping for the best, but something to keep into about him staying upright and healthy and or ready for this contest. But rooting for you, Kemp. Hopefully speedy recovery on that one. Also taking a look at the slate, you have a great game with Lafayette and Suwannee, kind of in our eastern area of our zone. That'll be a good local competition. Teams coming over in different directions. Suwannee with a tough game against Columbia where they were shut out. Over on the other side, Lafayette rolled versus Dixon County. Higginbotham has been fun here so far for Lafayette, and their offense is rolling. And on the other side, can Suwannee, who's battling through some early injuries, can they bounce back and get a big victory and local bragging rights here in their area? Some of these other games you take a look at, kind of that bottom right quadrant, NFC and North Bay Haven. Once again, two teams dropping their first games. Crucial one for both of these squads. They've had a really tough go of it in 2024, and you look at their schedules, and of course, you're trying to evaluate it. Can you pick up a win? This is one of those games you feel confident about the squads being able to go get it because how many more opportunities are you going to be able to pick up a big win outside of your district if it comes down to it and you don't get the automatic district berth? Are you going to be able to bounce back and get forward to it, especially for North Bay Haven, who's got an absolute loaded schedule here? Baker, Marietta, Rutherford Bay, waiting in the wings coming later this 2024 season. Of course, NFC, when you look at Maclay and St. John Paul II getting into those district games, those are going to be really tough too as both those teams are up. So can one of these teams bounce back in a big way and set the course good for the rest of the season? Because if you go 0-2, it's really tough coming back here in these loaded lower classifications here for North Florida, which we know is really dense and really talented. So let's continue moving on here. Of course, this is just the first section of games. Once again, shout out Four Quarters for putting together these sweet graphics going on here. How about the top left quadrant? You see that Gadsden, and you see a strange opponent. McCallie? Who the heck is that? That's right, they're from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Gadsden County hitting the road, going to cross multiple state lines going up there. That should be a really fun contest. This is a smaller school. If you're looking for a comp in the state of Florida, they give me Bowls vibes to them. Smaller school, but they've got like boarding rooms and they've got some high profile players that are definitely going to go D1. Most of their talent is in the skill positions on the perimeter, which should present an interesting challenge here for Gadsden County. They've got 2 4-star DBs. They've got 2 4-star wide receivers. And so it'll be interesting to watch how Gadsden attacks them, of course, but a high-profile matchup here in the Southeast. This may be the biggest one going right now, and I think Gadsden County, to a lot of people, still has stuff to prove. They may be sleeping on them. I don't know that they know about Gadsden County, so that's one of the reasons we got to keep bringing Gadsden County up, man. We got to pump up our team. We think they're absolutely legit. Of course, coming out of that big victory, wrecked homecoming against Tift County, can they keep it rolling? Can they keep that offensive pace? Can Battles, the offensive line, and, of course, Davis keep it going on the ground game? Doherty, we know, can sling it in the D-line. It's been absolutely relentless, as well as the back end. Really good stuff so far this season from Gadsden. That's going to be a massive matchup. Once again, McCallie has won 4 out of 5 state championships in their classification, so they're confident, they're feeling good, and they are ready to rock and roll. So that's going to be an opponent that's going to be charged up and looking forward to a big opportunity to take down Gadsden, which they know, well, they should know, has some serious, serious talent. Let's keep it going here to round out this slate. Some really fun matchups going for you here. Rickards is going to take on Eastside from down in that Gainesville area. And then you also look at down here towards the bottom, you have Walton taking on Crestview. And then St. John Paul II. Can they keep it going against Providence School? Really impressive showing here from the Panthers against Leon High School. The line, especially on defense, relentless. Gavin Ford stepping up in a big way. You know they have the big receivers. Caden Collier, also a big impact player over there. Going to be really, really fun to watch as we continue to go through and see what they have going on, what they bring to the table, and what kind of experience they will unpack. Sneed's looking for a bounce-back game against Seminole County. Obviously a really tough competition against Cottondale. Can Sneed's come back, get in the mix there? Of course, Walton Crestview, like we referenced, and then Maclay Brookwood. Of course, the small schools, this is kind of that Florida-Georgia line rivalry, right? Can we get that battle? Maclay having the opportunity to come back. Are they good to go? Are they rested up to lock in and get back into it here for football in the States? We know how they got after it overseas in Ireland. Can they come back, take care of business, settle, regroup, execute on both ends like we know that we think they can against a South Georgia opponent, which typically pretty fun to watch and pretty good competitor. So that's all we have here. As we finish up here, there's your schedule. There's your slate, some games to watch. Of course, don't forget to tell us what we missed. Why don't you talk about that team more? We saw the schedule. Why don't you bring it up? Feel free to let us know. We'll give them some love here. North Florida Prep Report on the I-10 Sports Media Network. Andrew Jupe. Thanks for coming in, and have a great rest of your week.